Hello. Good morning. How's it going? Hello. Welcome. Making sure I have all my stuff. I forgot to get myself a kombucha today. That's how scatterbrained I've been this morning. Good morning. Hello. How's it going? Hello. Welcome. How's it going today, guys? Hi, Lisa. Good morning, honey. How are you? Hello. Hi, Adriana. Hi, Maurice. Good morning. Good morning, Lori. You're up early on a Saturday, honey. Hi, Daniela. Hi, Lenny. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Aku. Hi, Bernice. Welcome. Good morning and afternoon to you, some of you. Hello. How's it going? So I have my big class today that Brandy and I have been frantically working on the last couple days because we're procrastinators who take forever. But it's been good fun. In fact, I have some cool stuff to show you that I'm going to include in my class today. Hello, good morning. How are all of you today? Hi, Amy. Hi, Elsie. Hi, Joanna. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Emily. Hi, Ellie. Hi, Jasmine. I know you do, Lori, and that's one of the many reasons why I wait till 10 a.m. now. I don't want to come on too early for you. You are the reason, Lori. I moved my time from 9 till 10. Love you. Thank you for being here. Good morning, Ria. Hi, Andrea. Andrea just pulled the 9 of Swords, followed by the Devil as a clarifier. Ooh. The Devil is it's one of those misunderstood cards. The 9 of Swords. I'm still learning tarot, you guys. This is one of the many reasons why I bring so many tarot people on here, because I feel it's a very important tool for spirituality. 9 of Swords, isn't that the one where the young lady is surrounded by swords and she feels she can't find where? Is that the one with the swords on the wall? I can't remember. See, this is why I need to practice. I need more tarot people to come on. I'm pretty sure the 9 of Swords means that you are in a situation that you feel you don't have an exit to, but you do. You just have to find it. In the bed, yes. Okay, in the bed. It's the one with the swords on the wall. Yeah. Usually that means you need to get out of your own thoughts. You're overthinking things and worrying and anxiety. Yep, you're overthinking. Lots of angst. Yep. You got to get your thoughts under control, babe. That's the thing. Manifestation is a very powerful tool, but most of the time we're manifesting the opposite of what we wish you to manifest because, we're worrying about things. Worrying is literally just wasting energy manifesting you something you don't want. So, yeah, you want to try and sort out your own thoughts today. Do some meditation, spend some time in nature, say some positive affirmations. Yes, devil is ourselves sometimes, our own worst enemy. Very intuitive, Elsie. Yep, very true. It's a lot of times we can be our own worst enemy and we don't even realize it. Oh, thank you very much. I've got my, what are these called? My Herkimer diamonds on today. I don't wear this very often because this is the spikiest necklace I've ever owned. It's like having a whole bunch of little spikes around your neck. But I love it. It's so pretty. Aw, I had a really crappy start to the day trying to flip the narrative. It's all about your thoughts, babe. That's what you got to do. You got to change all your thoughts around. Anytime that a negative thought pops in your head, you have to identify it and transmute it. So if you're stressing about something, let's say work related, just tell yourself it's going to be fine, and then give yourself some positive thoughts about what you would prefer to manifest. So I was going to show you guys some of the things I'm going to talk about in my class today. I have a whole bunch of new smudge sticks and cool things to talk about. This is one of them. Actually, here, check this out, guys. Black salt. Imagine what you could do with that. So it's sea salt, but it's also mixed with activated coconut shell charcoal. So it's very much a protective and grounding salt. So I'm going to be teaching you guys a little bit about using that today. Yes, protection salt. It gives a boost to your sea salt. And so I also have 3 different smudge sticks to show you guys. Normally I show you guys, actually I have 4 here. I have so many smudge sticks, you guys. It's unbelievable. I'm a smudge stick addict here. So check this out. See, you got the normal one with the flowers in there. Got some bay leaves. That's all white sage. And then you got this one. Check that out. I'm sure some of you recognize that. That is called dragon's blood. It's soaked in dragon's blood, which is actually a plant. Is it a resin or is it a sap? I think it's a sap, actually, which is slightly different. This is one with sage, and it has the, what do you call it? Laurel leaves, the bay leaves, bay laurel on it. And this is a really good one for manifestation and when you're also trying to clear out at the same time. And this one, oh, look at this one, you guys. Look at that. I got this from a shaman website. This is a serious one. This is called 7 Directions. So it's got 7 different types in here. It's got white sage. It's got the sweet grass. I know it's huge. That's what she said. So, it's got cedar and a whole bunch of stuff in there. Isn't that cool? So when you really mean business, see, this is my smudge thing. See, like I got a big one in here with my old smudge thing that fell apart on me last night because I was smudging last night. So yeah, you burn it on one end and you hold it and you make sure that your embers fall in here when you're burning it. Yes, 7 directions. This is the I don't fuck around stick. Yeah. You can get rid of all kinds of not so nice things with that. I get it from what is it? Shaman Market, because they're so supportive of indigenous communities. So if you're interested in getting one of these big bad boys, go to shamanmarket.com. Like I said, they're very supportive. This is the fuck around and find out. Good morning, Brandy. Hello, darling. I was just showing people my sticks, Brandy. I was so happy with this. We got this thanks to Johnny. Johnny was telling us that this is the best smudge stick to get. So thank you, Johnny. Our friend who's in shaman school recommended that. So sage is actually one of the most powerful purifiers, air purifiers in the world. In fact, there's many different types of sage. There's even oh, what was it? I was just looking at Jericho sage, or no, Jerusalem sage. So there's even sages that grew like in the Middle East, they're all over the world. And these sages have been used for thousands of years as not just an air purifier, but an energetic purifier. So it's basically one of those things that will clear out the space. And it's not just the only thing that does that. Frankincense, for example, it's one of the reasons why they talk about frankincense and myrrh so much in the Bible. Those are also smudges. They cleanse the space. Although I've heard that frankincense is one of the most powerful smudges in the world. In fact, I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I've heard several different places that frankincense clears the entire space. So you don't just get rid of the low vibe stuff. You chase away all the good stuff. You chase away everything. So that's why the Vatican likes to use it. So if you ever see the Vatican doing their ritual where they're carrying the smudge thing, it's like a silver, what do you call it? Oh my God, it's a special thingy, container thingy that they carry it around in. But it's basically a giant smudge thing that they just waft everywhere. That's what they're doing, is they're literally chasing out all the good guys too. They know their shit. They really do. And then check this out. Speaking of the Vatican, I'm going to talk about this a little bit today in my class. So I don't want to give it all away. Otherwise, I won't have anything to talk about in class. But this is also from the Middle East. It is a magical thing. Anybody know what this is? Let's see if anybody knows. Do you recognize this in my magical repertoire? Oh, it smells amazing. Anybody? Any takers? Anybody know what this is? Not seeing any comments. So I don't think anybody knows. And now I have dust all over my lap because this thing is dusty. Now? All the comments have stopped. There we go. Nobody knows. Ha ha. Oh, wait. Of course you would know, Bush. Hi, Bushwicks. You know your plants, so I'm not surprised you know. Yes, he got it right. This is called a Jericho rose. Yes. Joanna also knows. Yes. It's called a Jericho rose. The resurrection plant. Yes. Isn't this cool? Yeah. So it comes back to life when you water it. So even though it looks really dried and dead, right? It looks completely dead. This will come back to life when you water it. Completely dead, but that's why they call it the resurrection plant, which I just literally spilled all over my floor. Fantastic. I have dust everywhere now, you guys. I'm going to keep that noted for next time. But yeah, this dusty plant will come back to life and turn bright green. They never actually die. Isn't that cool? Now I'm covered in dust. It's literally everywhere. Oh, well. So I will teach you guys in class today how to use this cool thing. But yeah, they're found all over the Middle East. They grow in the desert. My lungs are sensitive to anything burning, sage, incense. That is why you need a sage spray. And thank you for answering her question, Maurice. Yeah, sage sprays work just as good, for the record. This is also why we have diffusers, aromatherapy. So you don't have to burn stuff in order to actually have the vapors in the air. You can use a sage essential oil in your aromatherapy. You can use sage sprays, Queen Herbie, she's one of my favorite singers. She's got this line of sage aura sprays, she calls it. And basically it's just, I think some of them are like white tea and sea salt. Other ones are sage and something else. I can't remember. But yes, Brandy, thank you for that. Sage essential oil is unsafe if you are pregnant. So you can't use it if you're pregnant, just for the record. There's a couple other things, other essential oils you can't use if you're pregnant too. I'm pretty sure rosemary is one of them. It's very, very powerful, very potent stuff. So, and I'm telling you, sage spray really does work because, man, if you guys remember when I was in Scotland and I got those 3 flat tires within 2 miles, 3 flats within 2 miles, right? And all I had on me was my sage spray. And I was going into one of those like panic attack situations where I don't know what to do, especially because he told me it would take 3 hours for the, for the car people to come and help me. And I was like, oh my God. So what I did is I went into my backpack and I grabbed my spray and I just all over. And within seconds, I just felt lighter. I felt lifted up. I felt less stressed and I wasn't freaking out as much. It definitely helps you guys. I mean, obviously, it could be also the whole placebo effect thing, but I really believe it helped. Like, it was obvious how much of a difference it made within 15 seconds. So I'm very grateful to Rebel. Rebel also makes these sprays and stuff, and she actually sent me one so I could take it to Vegas. So much love, Rebel. Thank you for that. She's hooking us up with some protective stuff that we don't have to burn. So that way, while we're in Vegas, we can just get rid of all the bad juju. Let's see. I'm also allergic to the propellants in my aerosolized sprays. Yeah, so that's why you don't want to get an aerosolized spray. Most of these sage sprays and stuff are not aerosolized. They're basically just, they're not the ones. Let's see. If you're pregnant, you can use dried sage in your spray along with other safe oils for protection. Yeah, that's how I make my sage spray. I just take a big jar and I fill it with clean water, and then I usually put, like, I have a whole bunch of flowers around, so I'll put, like, some rose petals in there, and then I cram a bunch of sage in there, and possibly some aloe and whatever else I feel like throwing in there, and then I leave it on the windowsill for about 24 to 48 hours. And then once you unscrew it and you smell it, you can definitely smell the sage in there. I mean, it is very strong smelling water. And then you just put that in your spray and just you might need a really big spray bottle for the whole casino. Honestly, I think that might be a really quick and easy way to get yourself thrown out of a casino. Just walking around spraying shit. So my room might be the only place in the whole casino that's going to be completely clear. I'm going to spray every inch of my room, though. Let me tell you, it's going to be my safe space. Oh, I gotta love it. Good morning. Hello. You guys are so funny. Some of these comments today. Oh, you guys are so funny. So, any questions? Anything you guys want to talk about specifically today? I'm using dried sage. I prefer dried. You can use fresh if you're making sage water and stuff. But these smudge sticks, the reason I haven't burned these is because I have like 50 smudge sticks. I really do. I have so many smudge sticks. It's unbelievable. So, but this honestly, one of my favorite ones is the dragon's blood one. So this is white sage that's been soaked in dragon's blood, which is basically a plant sap, a tree sap. And it's very potent for cleansing as well. Um, the eclipse. Yes, there's an eclipse. There's a solar eclipse this morning, which is one of the reasons why I'm always slightly nervous. Because whenever there's an eclipse, they use it for manifestation. Eclipses are a way of superpowering your manifestation rituals and stuff. So another reason why we're doing the class today, because like I said, anything that you're trying to manifest today is going to be supercharged. So it's a very good time to do some manifestation work, to do some shadow work, to do some meditation, to practice your astral projection, whatever it is that you're working on. It's a good thing to try, especially considering it's also a new moon. Remember what I said about the new moon? The matrix is at its weakest point during a new moon, and it's at its strongest point during a full moon, which is why people get all crazy and stuff. I've gotten a miracle that is 100 times more than I could have ever asked on Friday the 13th. That's wonderful news, Daniel. I'm very happy to hear that. You are law of attractioning like a boss. Love it. So yes. Oh, thank you for that, by the way. I was actually curious myself what time it starts. So it says it doesn't start till 9 a.m. in Arizona, and it varies by location. So if you guys want to see the eclipse today, you'd have to Google it and see what's going on. I'm not exactly sure. What age did you start astral projection? I was pulled out of body. Many of these guys have already heard my story, so I won't go too much into it, but I was pulled out of body by two of my soul guides. This was on February 21st, 2012. So I was, I believe, like 23, somewhere around there. And yeah, like this, they just literally pulled me out of body and were like, "Hey, bitch, we need to talk." But ironically, I had to work towards astral projection. When you have your soul guides pull you out of body, you don't have to practice or anything. I wasn't even sure what I experienced was real until the next day when I Googled it, because I didn't even know what astral projection was. I've heard of OBEs, but I didn't know that astral projection was actually a thing, that you could shift your perception from your physical body to your astral body. I had no idea that was actually a thing. So when I started my astral projection practice, that was about a year after my actual astral projection experience. So I spent about 3 years practicing astral projection, and I got pretty good at it. And then I had my kid. And for some reason, this has happened to quite a few people, people who have had astral projection experiences when they're younger, and then they try to get back into it when they're older and they struggle to. The main reason for that is because you have shadow work you need to do, or you might have attachments. There's a whole lot of reasons why it's not easy to go out of body. Um, Daniel says it's so far over the top and it involves housing in the homeless and running an animal sanctuary and it just fell out of the sky. Nothing happens by chance, Daniel. Everything happens for a reason. Out of everything I've learned on this planet, I think that's the number one key thing that keeps me going is the fact that I absolutely know without any doubt that everything happens for a reason. So there's no chance, you know what I mean? Like didn't fall out of the sky for just anybody. That was meant for you. How do you do shadow work? Shadow work is a process. It really is. It is something that it really is done better with help. So one of my favorite people that discusses shadow work is Lori Lyons. Lori is amazing teacher about shadow work. Shadow work, long story short, is your um, the latent stuff that's buried in your subconscious, the lessons you haven't actually surmounted yet, things that will cause you to have little triggers here and there. Whenever you react in an emotional way that you don't really like, either snapping at somebody or crying excessively over something that seems kind of small and wouldn't normally make you really emotional, having extreme anxiety and depression, dark night of the soul type of stuff. Dark night of the soul, for example, is when and there's a lot of different interpretations and examples of this, but my personal understanding of dark night of the soul is basically about how you're lost on your life path. We all have this plan that we came into this lifetime with. And you can deviate from that plan. There's all kinds of plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, all the way through. But lots of times we end up not even going for one of those set plans. We end up kind of winging it as we go. But when that happens, because like I say, we have free will, we can change the plans if we want to. This is what happens a lot of the time, actually. And Dolores explained this in her book, Between Death and Life, where we have the best of intentions when we first incarnate. When we come here and we're like, I'm going to work on this. I'm going to get all these things fixed. And then you get in here and you forget what you're working on. And you don't realize that, the reason you're having all these problems in your life is because there's a latent lesson that needs to be learned. And so people, when they avoid that lesson and they continue to avoid that lesson, it will get louder and louder and more in your face and more unavoidable. And this is where the triggers come in. And this is where, when people snap, you know what I mean? And they just like, I can't take it anymore. Usually that happens because you have deviated so far from your path and what you're meant to be doing that you are basically, your soul can actually kind of like back out. It's kind of like your higher self is just like, all right, you do it. It's on you, and your higher self and your soul guides will, I wouldn't like to say the word abandoned because it's not an abandonment thing. It's more of a tough love, you figure it out then kind of attitude where they will just take a step back and say, all right, well, if you want to be stubborn, if you, if you're going to take your time with this, then, I'll let you figure it out on your own. And a lot of times that's why people end up getting attached to all kinds of addictive things, or they end up in this downward spiral of bad decisions, or they end up having triggers that end up costing them valuable relationships. Because, if you're going to be triggered and somebody says something to you and you flip out on them, it might cost you a relationship. And so there's a lot of things that we need to be more perceptive to when it comes to our own behaviors and how we influence other people. And people who have not done their shadow work are not very perceptive to how their behavior influences other people. They don't have that good internal mirror. So shadow work is all about developing your perception to other people and how your behavior influences other people, but also about how your inner stuff is reflecting your outer behavior. So a lot of times we are, we're in this downward negative spiral of stress and anxiety and pain and misery. And that is what the dark night of the soul is all about. because we aren't on our chosen path. We haven't been embracing what we meant to do. We have been ignoring the lessons. And so when that happens, we kind of put ourselves in the perfect explanation, Lisa said, is like a tailspin, where it's very hard to kind of right yourself and fly straight again. But that's why, hypnosis is very important, and lots of other things, that, shadow work is just really great with a group, with other people who can, help you understand new areas of emotion and how to combat the negative emotions while also embracing, what you're feeling. Like, for example, anger. Anger is a big one. Lots of us have this frustration that comes out during the day, and we don't even know why we feel frustrated and angry with other people. It's almost like this short fuse type of situation. So if you feel that you have a short fuse, you have shadow work you need to do, without a doubt. And I noticed this about myself because I used to have a fuse like 3 miles long. I really did. For the longest time, I felt like nothing could make me angry. Nothing could upset me. Nothing could get me into that reactive mode. But then when I was going through my divorce with Aiden's dad, things got really, really toxic. And my fuse went from 3 miles long to non-existent. It was just gone. So anytime somebody said something to me that triggered me, I'd be like, rah, 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 mind your own business, fuck off, like. So it's taken me quite a long time to actually kind of get to know myself on a deeper level and combat those triggers, but you also have to identify them when you have a trigger. That's the biggest part that helped me, was basically having people that express to me, Laura, I wish you would have more patience. And I'd be like, you're right. I should have had more patience in that moment. But it's important not to beat yourself up over these things. So identify what you need to work on. Don't be hard on yourself, but also, ask for help. Ask other people for their insight and what they've been through, because it really does help with shadow work to talk with other people who have also gone through similar stuff. I feel like that's what most addicts do when they're in AA. They're doing shadow work. 100 fucking percent. That's what the 12 steps and all of that is about. That's all shadow work. It's just more clinical shadow work than spiritual shadow work. I hope that makes sense. I have a lot of questions to come up on. I'm just reading through his. Yep. 3 years of shadow work. That's about standard. Honestly, that's about how long it took me as well. Yeah, big time. And honestly, I feel like when things fall apart in your life, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to have some shadow work to do, because whenever we have a great deal of loss or a great deal of trauma, it's guaranteed that shadow work is essential for helping you get through that. It's all, yes, forgiveness and releasing it. Absolutely. I like what you said there, Danielle. Learning your triggers. I know mine, but it doesn't mean it's any easier to deal with them when you're in the moment and when you're being triggered. It's a constant learning process. Yep. And it helps when you actually, the count to 10 thing, when you're freaking out and you're like, I need a moment, my thing is to just walk away. That's a big thing for me. To just walk away, take a few minutes, take a breather, go and, meditate for a couple minutes, go and exercise too. Exercise is a big thing. So if you're being triggered by other people, that's a good way of getting it out too, is getting rid of that energy, the stress and anxiety. Exercise really does help. It helped me quite a bit, actually. Just go for a walk. That's what I do. If you're stressing and you've got something is really triggering you, the best thing you can do is go and spend some time in nature and process. What are your thoughts on automatic writing? I've learned how to do it, but can I be sure that I'm communicating with a positive source? Anytime that you do any sort of divination work, it's extremely important to use all forms of all your protocols for protection, all of it. It doesn't really matter if it's something that is as innocuous as using a pendulum. Always use your protection aspects. And yes, Andrea says, ask 3 times if you are from the highest light. Yep, that's what we do to make sure that we're not talking to a neg. a negative ET or a negative entity or a negative earthbound. You ask them if they're from the highest light, and you ask them 3 times. You can ask them while you're meditating. You can ask them while you're tripping balls. You can ask them while you're astral projecting. It doesn't make a difference. You can ask them no matter who you're talking to, are you from the highest light 3 times? I don't recommend using pendulums or anything. Pendulums, I mean, Ouija boards or anything. But God forbid, if you do feel ballsy enough to use an Ouija board, use your protection aspects 100% and make sure that you ask, are you from the highest light 3 times? And you can also check your sovereignty too. Thank you, Brandy, for reminding me of that. You can say, am I sovereign? And ask yourself again, am I sovereign? And then you ask again, am I sovereign? So when you ask that during a Zen moment, a meditative moment, a moment when you're actually, kind of checked in, ask yourself that 3 times. And if you get any no's in there whatsoever, smudge yourself, call in a higher power, grab your selenite crystal or your black tourmaline and tell it off and tell it to go, tell it to leave. And then check again, check your sovereignty yet again and see if it helped. And if it didn't help and it's still not going away, I recommend getting a spirit release therapy session. Oh, I just answered your question, Joy, before you even asked. Yep, that's how you learn. You just have to ask yourself, am I sovereign? You ask it while you're meditating 3 times. Anyone else noticing the big matrix glitches with their tech today? Yeah. Well, actually, let's check the Schumann too, because this eclipses always start some shit, you guys. They really do. This is one of the reasons why I'm not actually a fan of eclipses, because that's when the elite, I hate calling the elite, the cabal, thank you, brain, is actually pulling their most disgusting stunts. This is part of the reason why they're pulling a bunch of bullshit in Palestine, I'm sure. Oh, the Schumann's actually pretty quiet today. It's not that busy. Well, maybe towards the end it is. And then let's see what the solar flares are doing. We got any solar flares? A little bit. Not too much going on for solar. Little thing there, but honestly, it must be the eclipse. Something's going on with the matrix today. Oh, Karen, I just caught your comment in the last second. Love you, Karen. It gets easier, honey. It really does. You got to take these things in stride, It's meant to make us stronger. Do I no longer practice astral projection? I have not astral projected in 3 years. I have not astral projected since my divorce. So to be completely straight and honest with you guys, no, I have not astral projected recently. And the reason for that is I don't know. I don't know why it's harder. I think my life is just busier. If your life is chaotic, it is not easy to astral project. Your mind gets in the way, your thoughts get in the way. So the last astral projection I had was about 3 years ago. It was in Costa Rica, ironically. And it was on a day that I imbibed things. So that might have also had I had some plants that may have had some influence on that. So yeah, it has been quite a while since then. And the reason for that, I believe, is just because I'm not practicing. Astral projection is something you must practice every single day. If you're somebody who practiced a lot back in the day and it is something that you were very good at, and then you stopped for a couple years and then you try to get back into it, you'll realize that it's not like riding a bike. You can't just get back on. You have to get your mind in the right state. You have to get your vibration high. You have to get your body healthy. There's all kinds of stuff that can get in the way of your astral projection abilities. What do you mean by sovereign? Sovereign means that you have your free will. That means that there is nothing in your auric field that is compromising your free will. So your sovereignty is basically your ability to make your own fucking decisions. Because if you don't have your sovereignty, you're going to have somebody else telling you what to do. And a lot that happens to so many of us. Every single one of us have had our sovereignty compromised at one point or another. I guarantee it. Every single one of us. And what compromises your sovereignty are earthbounds. Earthbounds are essentially ghosts, but we don't like calling them ghosts. There are people who have chosen not to enter the light and they're still in the astral. They can attach to people, and they often do attach to people. And when they do, they can mess with your ability to make your own decisions. A lot of times, right? Humans are telepathic. Okay. Every single fucking one of you is telepathic, just for the record. Okay. The reason that you don't know you're telepathic is because many of us have been gaslighted into believing that we're not. So when you are dealing with an attachment, when you have an earthbound that is attached to you, they can tell you things. They can put thoughts in your head. They can imbue you with their personality. They can make you feel things. They can, you can actually start picking up an addiction from an earthbound. Let's say, for example, you've never smoked cigarettes in your life, and then your great aunt who passed away, who smoked cigarettes like a chimney, and then she doesn't know to enter the light, and then she comes and sees you because she misses you or whatever, she's checking in on the fam now that she's out of body, and she attaches to you because she likes your auric field. She likes your love and your light and your happy vibes in your space, right? And then all of a sudden you start getting these tendencies towards wanting cigarettes, and you start craving cigarettes, and you're like, why do I crave cigarettes? I don't understand. I've never really liked them. I don't enjoy cigarettes. But then you go out to a bar or something and somebody is smoking a cigarette and you're like, that smells really good. Can I have one of those? And the next thing you know, you're puffing on a cigarette thanks to great aunt, whatever her name is. And you don't realize that the reason you did that is because attachment is on you. And so this isn't just cigarettes. I mean, it could be anything, absolutely anything, even coffee. And so a lot of times we have urges and little vices. Vices is the perfect word for this because it's not even addiction a lot of times. It's just a vice, something that we absolutely crave. And a lot of times that's why, is because it's an attachment. And so, sorry, Matt, that was not my intention. So you have to kind of transmute those things as well. Even sex, that's another big one. Sex is a huge one, actually. Lots of people crave more and more sex because they got a bunch of horny ghosts attached to them. I'm not even kidding. So that's another one where people can go out and be very promiscuous, if you want to put it that way. And they don't understand that the reason for that is because they have these horny fuckers attached to them who are literally goading them to going out. And this is why a lot of porn is a problem. This is why a lot of, those snuff films and all the violent stuff. That's why it's attachments that love that stuff. It's the demons and the succubi, especially. There was I've talked about this a couple times, but in Dr. Terrence Palmer, my favorite spirit release therapist, he basically, long story short, had a client come to him that had a succubus attached to her. And this succubus, she was a very naughty thing. She kept, enticing her to go out and do all kinds of stuff and to be very naughty. And she didn't know why she had all of these naughty tendencies and couldn't figure it out. And then sure enough, she literally had a succubus attached to her. And the succubus's attitude, oh my God. The succubus was something else, you guys. She was basically like, you liked it. Like when they were trying to chase her away, they're like, go away, go away. And she's like, you don't want me to leave, do you? Come on, you liked it. It was her attitude. And oh my God, it was so freaky. It's really creepy. So if you guys go on if you search Dr. Terrence Palmer on YouTube, you scroll down through his videos, you will find the succubus video. You'll see what I mean. So yeah, a lot of times our cravings and our vices and all the things that are kind of naughty are actually, and that's not to say that we humans aren't a bit hedonistic ourselves. A lot of us are very much enjoy being promiscuous without attachments just because it's part of the human experience. But just be aware that if it ends up being a problem, it may not be your problem. It may be somebody else's problem that's being gifted to you through your attachments. Oh, thank you, Aaron. Aaron says it's actually like a frequency. I only tune in when I need to. I've mastered my relationship to the astral and have very strong boundaries. See, that's the thing. You need to have very strong boundaries in all of this work. All of it. Anything spiritual needs boundaries. And that's for your own protection and for the protection of other people. So it is, yeah. It's a lot, you guys. There's a lot that we have to do in order to be safe. And it's kind of a pain in the ass to have to smudge yourself all the time and use salts all over and put crystals everywhere and to meditate and it's a full-time job, self-care. It really is. And I'm not even just talking about the physical body self-care. The mental self-care is even more time consuming than the physical self-care. I'm loving the comments today, you guys. How do you use salt in the shower? Andy just has like a jar, he said, or a bowl of it, and then you just take a little pinch and you use it kind of like a loofah scrub, where you just put it all over your body. So you just basically, you have to, what's the word? It's like one of those abrasive scrubber things. You just use it like that. Yeah, you use it with your soap. Yep. You can actually get sea salt soap too, by the way. I would like to make some of that sometime, actually. Maybe I'll make some sea salt soap. That would be cool. Add it to my list of cool things that I want to do with my time. Exfoliating. Thank you, darling. That was the word my brain was not finding. Thank you. Yes, exfoliating. Use it as an exfoliator, just all over your body. Sea salt scrub. Yep. I read your comment wrong, Keisha. Keisha says I've been using Epsom salts like a scrub, but I smell very many after that. I need something. I thought you said manly. I smell very manly after. My brain is playing tricks on me. That made me laugh. Sorry. Do you have an opinion on supernatural beings being in the physical and people saying they have seen them, like werewolves? Absolutely everything you've ever heard of is real somewhere. It really is. Everything you've ever heard of. And the cool thing is, right, is that even if this is something that they explored in Supernatural, any Supernatural fans here, you'll understand what I'm saying here. Everything that we've ever believed is real. And as long as there is even one person out there that believes in something, they created that something. That something is now out there. So this is one of the reasons why they push so many. Oh, you did mean manly. That's hilarious. Makes it even funnier. That's hilarious. You need some essential oils in there, honey. So anyway, yeah, if you will go into the astral, you'll understand that there are everything out there. This is part of the reason why that our monsters have changed over the years. Like everybody used to talk about banshees and shit back in the day, and now we don't see banshees anymore, or at least not as often. That's an example. There's a lot of things that we manifest just through belief. And the thing about portals, okay, because portals exist everywhere. And if you want to avoid a portal, you have to stay in high vibe areas. But even in high vibe areas, there are high vibe portals. So if you go to a low vibe area, there's low vibe portals. So for example, Skinwalker, perfect example of a shady ass place, right? Skinwalker Ranch. Lots of weird shit happens there. Lots of low vibe portals happen there. And because of it, they find all kinds of stuff. It's the reason why it's called Skinwalker Ranch. They found skinwalkers, they've seen werewolves, they've seen all kinds of really freaky shit there. And that's why, is because they're coming through the portals. So that's why, is that almost everything that we believe can be put into the 3D physical and can be manifested into the 3D physical. So just believing in something and creating a nightmare, you can actually have that nightmare come through a portal and end up being in the same room as you and literally manifesting. This is what people talk about inner demons, guys. We create our own inner demons this way. So it's hard to say whether or not what you see in the astral is a subconscious manifestation of your own or somebody else's, because it's a mix of both. What's your opinion on the lesser banishing ritual for cleansing yourself and your home? Well, this is the perfect question for today, since I'm doing a magic and basically a witchcraft class today. So yeah, it's a great question. Banishing rituals are what we call, basically, it depends. Sometimes it's white magic, sometimes it's gray magic, sometimes it's black magic. It all depends on your intention and what you're going to do with that intention and what, the purpose is. So if you're banishing somebody from an area because that person really pissed you off and you don't want anything to do with that person, that is more towards the grayish black side of things. But if you're doing it for protection, if you're doing it for trying to regain your own sovereignty and your own free will and all of that, then yeah, it's considered white magic and it's a protective thing. And like I said, it's all about intention. Whether or not you are going to do white magic, black magic, or gray, it is entirely down to your intentions and how you are going to basically project those intentions out into the universe. So when it comes to banishing rituals, I believe they should be used wisely. And same with any form of, have you guys ever seen the movie The Craft? There's similar ritual at the end of the movie that she performs, I bind you from doing harm to other people and harm to yourself. That is a real spell, you guys. They put all kinds of real spells into the movie The Craft. And so that is an example of what a banishing ritual might be, because there's quite a lot of them out there. So just be aware that anything that you send out into the universe may come back to you. So if you are sending out your intentions to protect yourself and to inspire and to, it's all being done in love, then I wouldn't worry about it. Like I said, nothing that comes back to you that's based in love is going to be bad. But if you're sending out negative shit, if you're trying to, circumvent somebody else's free will, if you're trying to get rid of somebody that's meant to be in your life, that is, part of your soul group, soul plan, and your karmic stuff, then it may not work anyway. Because like I said, karma is sometimes stronger than witchcraft. That's for damn sure. So yeah, always do everything that you can with love and light. Always. Because like I say, this is the difference between white magic and black magic. It's selfish magic versus selfless magic. So if you're doing something selfish with your own intentions, your own, like let's say that you want to get a job ahead of somebody else, you know what I mean? That's technically black magic because you are using cheat codes for your own nefarious purposes. Will that also be effective to regain your sovereignty? I don't know. To be honest, I'm still a baby in this whole spirit release therapy thing, which is why I am very blessed to be going to that class that Andy and Jono are teaching next month in England, all about spirit release therapy. But I'm also having Andy and Chen on next week. On Wednesday, they will be here. So that is a good question for Chen. Different ways to regain your sovereignty, because there are a lot of different ways to do so, I imagine. Okay, 10 more minutes and then I have to get ready for my class, you guys. And thank you for sharing my site. I appreciate that, Aku. That's my sign up if you guys want to join me for my class today. Brandy and I, an hour from now, will be teaching this white magic and witchcraft class. And so we'll be able to white magic and witchcraft. That's not what it's called. White magic manifestation. My brain is not working today. So yeah, I'll be teaching you how to use this, how to use the smudges, how to make some jar spells. how to do all sorts of different protection and cleansings, how to cut your cords, and all other different things. This is a um, very good class for beginners, people who are just starting out with their spiritual side. Let's see here. I'll share it one more time for you guys because I don't think some of you are seeing that. Um, can you sign up for one class tonight? I have the my next class. There's going to be 2 of these white magic classes. So today, the class will be in an hour from now, and then the next one is going to be, I think, is it 28th? It's a couple days before Halloween. We want to do one right before Halloween. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to be doing 2 of these classes, and it will be available by recording. And here, let me find the link. Thank you, Abu, for sharing it, but I don't see if people are seeing your comments, so I'll just share it again. So yeah, I'm going to have to run in a second, guys, so I can get set up for this class. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've got to go get all my goodies together. There it is. There's the link if you guys want to sign up. So yeah, if you sign up, you will get the recording regardless. And we're also going to make sure that each one of you will get the PDF. So we wrote 13 pages. I thought that was kind of perfect. It's a 13-page class that we've written, and we're basically just going to read through it and teach you guys everything we know about it. And then we will also and to be able to answer questions and things for you guys if you're watching the live class. But if you have questions afterward and you didn't get to watch the live class and you have to watch the recording, feel free to tag me and with your questions, make a post in the astral projection group if you want. I may be doing, yes, I still have the astral projection and protection class available. If you guys scroll down through my courses, you'll see my astral projection class is still there. I am going to be teaching a level 2 astral projection class in the next couple months, but I want to make sure I have all my spirit release therapy stuff done and out of the way first. So yeah, I'm actually going to have to run, guys, because class starts in an hour from now, and I am not set up at all. I have to set up my table and all my goodies, get all my tools ready. So thank you all very much for joining me. I'm going to have tomorrow off because, like I said, it's the day I spend with my little guy because he's so patient. He's going to be self-entertaining for 3 hours today while we do this class. So I'm going to spoil him tomorrow, and then I will see you guys on Monday. On Monday, I have a very interesting conversation, something that I have not planned before. One of my friends is going to jail. She has been given a 3-year sentence. She was involved in the Jan 6, I don't want to say the whole word, event. And so she is, long story short, she got made into an example. And so she, like I said, she's going to be going to jail for 3 years because of that event. But she hasn't gone in yet. She's a very intelligent, very spiritually minded person. And so I invited her on Monday to have a conversation with me about her experience, about what she went through, her thoughts on it, and what is in the future for her. Because, like I said, she's a very interesting person. Her name is Yvonne. I adore her. She's a wonderful person. So I'm excited that you guys will get to meet her, and we'll be able to hear another side of things that you don't normally hear on TV for obvious reasons. So I thought that would be unique and interesting. So that will be a good conversation, I'm sure. So yes, I will see you all on Monday, or I'll see you all in an hour, depending on whether or not you're signed in for my Zoom class. So I love you all. Thank you very much for joining me today. It's always a pleasure. And yes, Lisa, that is the plan. In fact, I'm her first pen pal. I told her I would be a pen pal for her while she's in there. So if you guys want, you will also have the chance to be her pen pal too, because like I said, 3 years is a long time. I'm going to be sending her a whole bunch. She's going to basically be my missionary on the inside. I'm going to get all kinds of info from her. I'm trying to get information on people to clear and all kinds of stuff. She's very smart, and she's one of those people that I feel is, this happened for a reason, and she's going to be helping people on the inside, and she realizes that. And I this is one of the many reasons why I honor her for being so strong and so smart and so caring for other people. And that's what she's doing. That's her whole attitude is, I'm going to go in and I'm going to help people while I'm in there. And so, yeah, that's why I'm going to be sending her a bunch of books in there, and everything else I can to make her time easier. But I'm excited to have this conversation. It's going to be a very unique conversation that we haven't had before. And then, like I said, Andy is also coming on Wednesday. I'm finalizing things with Jono. I think Jono and his wife might be here on Tuesday, actually. So, and yeah, I have a paranormal investigator coming on Thursday. He's a really cool guy too. His last name is Grimm, which I thought was really interesting. Joseph Grimm is coming on Thursday. He's a paranormal investigator in Florida. So next week is going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of really cool stuff coming. So, thank you for joining me. I love you all so much, and I will see some of you in an hour, and I'll see the rest of you on Monday. Mwah! Have a good day. Bye.